All right, so got the conduit run into a little bit of a snag, so I'm gonna have to run back over to Lowe's or Home Depot. So probably Home Depot. So Lowe's only has 6/0 wire in bags of 50-foot rolls or 100-foot rolls, and I thought this was going to end up being around 48 feet with the run. Turns out it's 50 feet and 9 inches, so just a little bit short. So I'll turn this around and show you what's going on here, and then I'm gonna have to pick this back up. So I probably won't get to Lowe's today. I might take that stuff back and get over to Home Depot and pick up the rest of it, but that's probably going to be tomorrow or maybe the next day, and we're getting ready to head out to Tampa for the RV show. So this is going to finish up after the fact. Let me turn this around and show you what's going on. So since I'm going to go ahead and go over there and pick up that cable, I'm going to go ahead and pick up another double pole breaker, and then that way I'll hook this one back up where I did take it off, and then I'll have 2 RV poles coming off there. So this one here is for my welder. This one's for the air compressor, and then I'll have 2 more 50s across from each other, both for 50 amp for RV. So if we ever get somebody here and they're mooch dock, and they'll be able to hook up there, and then we'll have the other one where we're at. So coming out, the conduit's coming out, going up across the doors, and then coming out across the wall, dropping down behind the TV, and already got that there behind the wall, and then there's about 8 inches to go out to the pad where the RV's at. So just a small snag. It's late in the day. Football games are getting ready to start, so I'm gonna put the cover back on, and I'll pick this back up after we get back from Tampa. Talk to you soon.
On the open road, where dreams unfold, adventure calls, a story to be told. With every mile, our spirits soar, freedom song forevermore. Supersede Chow adventures on the go, through the hills and valleys, don't you know? With laughter and love, we roam so free, a journey shared, just you and me. Heather by my side, Herbie and Bugsy too. Together we chase skies of endless blue. In our RV, a home on wheels, every turn a new world reveals.
All right, hey everybody, welcome back. We're back in the garage. We got everything, I think we got everything we need to finish the electrical box for 50 amp to the outside. Got back from Tampa, was at Tampa for the RV show, and now I've got some time on my hands to try to get this done. It's a little cold in the garage. It is the coldest day we've had on record. I think somebody said in a decade. So the high right now outside is 11 degrees. The low is a -4. So give me some time in the garage, turn the heat on here, and try to get this done. So show you what's going on. So take the panel off. I did get a second breaker here, so I'm going to go ahead and hook this one back up that I was just going to eliminate, and I'm going to hook that one back up. Also have the breaker for the outside, so I'll have 2 areas to hook into 50 amp. So not that I would ever need it, but in case somebody, if anybody wanted to mooch dock, would be able to support that. Got 65 foot of wire, and it's going to run up in this conduit here, and go out across the garage, come down through the conduit. It's going to exit. It's going to exit right there and go into the box. See the RV sitting right outside the window here. So I did change up the box a little bit. So the original box I got was Although it says it was UL listed, and I got it from Amazon, I wasn't real happy with what showed up. So I ended up ordering a new box from the Home Depot. Open this up here. So I ended up getting a GE box from Home Depot. So this one's going to have 50 amp and 110 on it. Doesn't have 30 amp. I don't need 30 amp because that's not what my rig uses, and I have no intentions on ever having a 30 amp rig. So go ahead and set this up, put it on time lapse, and you can watch me climb around a little bit on the ladder and get this run. But gotta turn the heat on first. It's cold in here. Got that all run. I'm gonna go outside and pull the rest of it. Now I'll come back and you're gonna have to put your caps on, put your supports on, and then glue all your joints. And then we'll go ahead and hook everything up. I don't know if I'll get to that tonight or not. I'll show you where this is coming out at here on the outside. Turn this around here. So you can see we got about 18 inches of snow last weekend. So anyhow, this is where it's going to come through at. This is where it's going to hang on the wall. So I'll go ahead and probably do that tomorrow when it's daylight. All right, everybody, we got the conduit run, got the wires run outside and to the box. So I'm going to show you how to wire up the box for the outside. Now I'm doing it in here on the bench only because it's 6 degrees outside, so when I get out there I'm going to secure it and get it wired up and not have to take the time to film everything. But again, I want to stress, this is how I do this. I did the one before when it was the box was over by the panel. This one here is going outside where we're building the garage for specifically for the motorhome only. So that's the only reason I'm putting this in. But this is how I do it. This isn't the way you should do it. If you're not familiar with this, you're not comfortable with it, get an electrician, call your buddy, buy him a case of beer, do whatever you want to do. But this is how I do it, not necessarily how you should do it. So let me turn this thing around and I'll show you what's going on with the box. Again, this is a GE box. I got one that was, you know, maybe $50 cheaper from Amazon. It had 50, 30, and 20 amp. This one only has 50 and 20, but it's more than enough for what I need. So you're going to turn this around. So when you get the box, of course, this is going to be on top. You just take the 2 screws out here and pull this out. It's pretty simple. So you got 4 wires that you got coming in here. You got black, red, white, and green. So you're gonna bring those in. In this case, I'm gonna bring these in right. Let me turn this thing around here. So I'm gonna knock the hole in right here and bring them in from the back because that's gonna be coming from outside the house. That's pretty simple, right? So your green wire, your ground wire is gonna go right here. So just gonna loosen up this cable here, or I'm sorry, this set screw, run that wire up in there, the green one, and then tighten that up and get it as tight as you possibly can. And then once you install it, you're going to go back and tighten these all up again. And then your common, and this is pre-wired, by the way, for the receptacles, but your common, you can bring it, you know, again, you're going to unloosen it here. In my case, I'll bring it in from the bottom. I'll take the red and the black. They'll come in from back here. They'll come up and loop around. and then they go into the two big lugs here. So you got red and black, and it doesn't matter which side you go on. They're both going to be feeding current through them. So make sure you give yourself enough of a loop and tighten those up. And then, of course, this is going to be done while you've already got this mounted on the wall. So you got 3 mounting points. You got 1 screw here, 2 screws down here, and then that's it. That's all you got to do out on the box on the outside. All right, so got the box mounted onto the side of the garage, and then got the wires coming through. Again, you're going to have a black. It goes onto the lug up here, a red. That's going to, and it doesn't matter. You can interchange these, either one, right? These are going to have power coming through them. You got a white that's going over to the neutral bar here, and a green one that comes up to the ground bar. I'll go ahead and put the cover on it. We'll be done outside, and then we'll go inside and hook it up to the panel. All right, we're back here in the panel. If you remember, this was the original one for this box down here. I was going to take it out and leave it out, but I decided to go ahead and keep that in case we get somebody who wants to come here, maybe mooch dock, whatever. We can plug in both RVs if need be. Probably won't ever happen, but it doesn't matter. Went out and just got another breaker. So your breaker is going to have to be specific for your panel. So you can look inside here and get your panel information, and go ahead and get yourself a breaker. And in my case, this is a Square D DP 4075. So again, you're going to have a red and black, right? And then your green is going to go to the ground bar. Your white is going to go up to the neutral bar. And then these kind of will sit in. I don't know if you can kind of see here. These are a rocker, right? So you're going to put them in like this and then slide them down. So if you can see, right here, right there, there's contacts. One there, one there. There's contacts. We're going to slide in between here and here. They're going to snap in. So we'll go ahead and put this one in, and then we'll go ahead and do the second one. I got to cut the cables off a little bit and get those in there. One note, while you're here, don't touch the top here. You do have power coming in. In this case, mine comes from this is a sub panel, so I can shut this power off and not have to worry about it. But if for some reason you can't, this isn't a sub, you still got power in these lines up here, so you don't want to touch those. Don't touch those. There's no reason for it. Shut the breaker off here. It kills everything down here. Go around and tighten up every one of these while you're in there, and you're gonna be thankful that you did, because you'll be surprised after a number of years how many of those will loosen up. Another tip I would say you need to do every year is do the same thing in your RV and your coach. Those are getting shook continuously going down the road. When you have anything that's loose, that's where you build heat. That's where you're going to end up with a fire. So beginning of spring, end of winter, every year, I find my panel in my RV, take the cover off and tighten up every one of those. Receptacles, the same way. You can do the same thing. Now, the receptacles in an RV are going to be a little bit different. They're not going to have, this screw in there. Most of those are just going to slide in and pop in unless you've changed the receptacles. But just make a habit of doing exactly this in your RV every year. You'll be thankful that you did. So we'll go ahead and pop that one in, and then we'll go and wire up the other one. We'll see what I'm doing here. So you'll see where it catches on the back, and it's a rocker, and then you're just going to give it a little bit of a push, and that's it. So that's going to turn it on. Again, you give it a tug, make sure everything's good. It's really that simple. Now, when you get your lid, you're going to have to knock these out. So in this case, this one and this one have to come out. Just grab them with a pair of pliers and rock on them, and you'll be able to get them out pretty easy. Now, if you get to the point where you get to your panel, you don't have space here, and that's a different ball game. At that point, I wouldn't do it myself. I'd get somebody. You're gonna have to put a new panel in or put another sub in. Probably putting a sub in over here would be the easiest way of doing it. So we'll go ahead and get this one wired up. So on this one here, you got you got a neutral bar and a ground bar. They are tied together at the top, so it really doesn't matter. However, I do it only because I was taught this way by an electrician, is put your ground wires on one side and neutral wires on the other. I don't know what you got to do it because, again, this bar up here ties them together. So maybe you don't have to do it that way, but that's the way I do it. We'll go ahead and hook up the ground and the neutral. This is a number 1 Robertson bit. You can get these on a screwdriver handle. A lot of times electricians will use those just because you can torque them down pretty good. So, Robertson bits are good to have in the RV business because they use those for whatever reason on damn near everything. So you might want to get yourself one of those. Make things a little bit easier. And like I said, you can use it at some other places within your RV. So get those set in your panel. Make sure they're seated nice and good, and then tighten down the screw. Put some torque on it. And then you got to do the same thing with your ground. Now when you go ahead and cut your sheathing back on here, I go about 3/8 of an inch. You're going to want to make sure it sits down tight in there, but you don't want the bare wire exposed out past the breaker. So there is right here is a guide, but you kind of just put this up there right on the end there and use that as a guide. And like I said, I'm guessing that's about 3/8 of an inch. So that's usually about where I go. And you can use the guide if you need to. So I picked up this wire from, like I said, originally I had got it from Home Depot. They sold it in 50-foot lengths already in a bag. That wasn't enough for me. So I ended up having to get some, and I could get it from an electrician store or electrical store local, and it was outrageously priced. So I ended up picking it up off of Amazon. And when you get it from Amazon, it actually comes from an electrical store. So in this case, it came from Duels Electric Supply Company in Sterling, Virginia. So they're on 22570 Shaw Road. So it's American stuff. It's not from overseas. They cut it to length and they ship it right to you. But Amazon next day, it was a third of the price of what I paid for 50-foot at Home Depot. I got 65-foot. And again, from Amazon, they ship direct from Duelist Electric Supply Company in Sterling, Virginia. So you can always go that route. That's going to be a lot cheaper for you when you do that. So got that cleared. You're going to set those red and black. Doesn't matter where. Red and black. One in here. One in here. This one here is only a straight screwdriver. So I believe I got one of those close. Let me go grab one. So you're going to want to put your cable in here outside of the box, right? So you want to, that way the box will rock in and it'll be much, much easier to do it that way. You want to make sure it's set in good. There's no bare wire out across the breaker itself. And then really clamp down on those things. All right, just like the last one, you're going to put this little bit of a dog leg in there. It hooks on this black bar, and then you push the other piece into the connectors there. So and then that's it. Put your panel back on, flip your switches on. You're going to check for everything. We'll check the power in this box, which we know is good because we've had this wired up before. We'll go out and check the power in the other box and make sure that we're getting the 50 amps that we're looking for and getting the power out there. So again, this is how I do it. I've done it a few times. Not how you should do it. If you're not familiar with what you're doing, you don't feel comfortable doing it, go find an electrician, go find a buddy and let them do it for you. Electric's nothing to mess with. If it hurts, could kill you, or it could burn your house down, in this case, my garage down. I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't have a problem with doing this, but there's some things where I just know my limitations, and that's with everything. So know your limitations when it comes to electrical. Know your limitations when it comes to working on your RV, on your cars, whatever. I've become very handy over the years. I've been working on and rebuilding cars since I was an early teenager. I feel comfortable doing a lot of things, but if I don't feel comfortable doing something, I don't do it. I'll find somebody. I might watch them and try to understand what they're doing. But at the end of the day, you got to know your limitations. Everybody has limitations. We can't all do everything. So let's go out and test this power, make sure everything works, and we'll button this up and we'll call it a job well done. Okay, just one last thing then you want to check. Go ahead and turn these on. In this case, this is the older one. This is a new one. I will mark this on the panel. And then you want to go in here and check your receptacles for power. So get yourself a multimeter. Make sure you have it on AC to check the voltage. And then whenever you get in here, what you're going to do is you got two legs, one on the left, one on the right, and then your neutral's down at the bottom. So essentially, the way the RV is, it's not like this here where you're going to have in your garage where you're going to have 240 volts for a welder or 240 volts for your dryer in your house. Essentially, the RV is 102 legs of 120 volts. So when you get into your RV, again, you're going to have 120 volts coming in on one side, 120 volts coming in on the other side, give or take, a couple volts. So whenever you look at your RV and you open up your panel, you're going to have basically two different systems, right? So you got 120 volts, it's going to operate half of the coach. 120 volts is going to operate the other half of the coach. It's not 240 volts. I know a lot of people get that confused. So you have a lot of times, like for ours, for example, half of the bedroom runs off of one leg and half the bedroom runs off the other leg. Same way with the air conditioners up on top. One roof mount runs off of one phase and the other one runs off of the second phase. They don't run off the same one. One will feed your washer, one will feed your dryer if you have washer and dryer in there. One's going to feed your inverter and converter that's going to feed to your 12 volt system. So you'll see that when you get into your RV, but you're going to want to check these, and what you're going to want to do, let me see if I can turn this around and figure out how to do this with one hand. So you're going to take your meter and you're going to check just one leg. So I don't think I can do this so you're going to go one leg here. Anyhow. You're going to go here and here, and then pull this one out and go here and here, and both of them should read about 116 to 118 on your meter. Let me see if I can get that to stay in there. Probably not. They're going to be tight. Yeah, so anyhow, that's the way you're going to check it. You're going to get a reading down here on your meter that's going to say about 116 to 120. You're going to do the same thing for, in my case, I'm going to do it for both of them on the inside and outside. So that's it. It's all done. We're one more item ready for camping season, and we've got the contractor. Again, remember me telling you about limitations. My limitations has nothing to do with construction. So the reason for all this is we're extending the garage to cover the coach. So we had to fill all this in. I got a video coming to show you what's going on there. Had to fill all this in, build this wall, and that wall gets to be about I don't know, 12, 14 feet there towards the back end. So we had to build this wall up, and then I got a contractor coming, and next thing he's going to do is tie off to the roof up here and bring that roof obviously all the way out to build and attach to the wall up here. The wall will go up, then we'll pour concrete, and then it's going to come all the way up. So it's going to extend out past the garage about 10 foot. So it's going to have a little bit of an L shape on it. And then we'll be able to get this thing in here and get it covered up over the winter. So that was the reason for putting that box out here. We'll go ahead and get that one tested and call it a job well done.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, ciao.